everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you back today for a new reading. I hope that all of you are doing amazing today and having a wonderful day. So in today's message, I wanted to see what is coming towards you in this time. So what is something that it's approaching you? Let's begin with your tarot cards and what is coming straight towards you in this time of your life, Spirit, for the person who is watching this. What is coming straight towards them? What is that they need to be aware of? That's approaching, that's arriving in this time of their life. Oh, wow. You know what? I feel like Spirit, first of all, wants to say, you can be at peace. Something is done here, like something is already working out for you. The Four of Swords is communicating to you to have a rest, to be at peace, to ease your mind. Because I get this message of like, you don't have to worry anymore. Something is coming together. Alignment is here. So the Lovers, this is about alignment, but it can also talk about a relationship maybe for some of you. Let's see your cards. Clearly something is coming though here with the Knight of Pentacles. I do want to say that this thing could happen feeling like it's approaching for quite a while. So this can be also like an energy you have been sensing for a very long time, like maybe months or years for some of you, could be even like a year. But it's like you have been expecting the arrival of something and it has been taking its time, but it's not necessarily late. That's something that I do want to point out. It doesn't feel like it has been delayed or it's late. It's just arriving in its perfect time, right? So that's the first thing Spirit wants to say, is that something is arriving in its perfect time and in the perfect place, in the perfect way, because we have the Lovers, and the Lovers cannot delay, right? The Lovers is about divine timing, is about alignment, is about divine orchestration and things falling into place in the perfect and exact time when they need to. So this thing that's coming towards you, maybe the energy of it, you have been sensing it for a very long time. But something about you, it's maybe also feeling right now like it's arriving, or maybe it has already arrived. Like, I feel like you're somebody who is very intuitive and deeply in tune energetically with things. We're going to get into your cards in a second here, but I'm just getting a lot of downloads for you. I feel like you can sense things, and it's almost like you feel like things have already arrived before they have even arrived. I hope that's making sense, but it's like this thing hasn't physically manifested in your life, but it's almost like your inner state feels like it has already arrived, or that's how you're acting, that's how you're feeling. Maybe that's where the peace is also coming from. So the Lovers is the first card that came out for you. Let's see the rest of the cards. Wow, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so I recently did a reading about money, and maybe that's something that's, maybe you're coming from that reading as well. Maybe it also, you felt drawn to it. So Queen of Pentacles. Okay, we also have the Hermit. Yeah, I believe the Hermit, I used the same deck in that reading, and I believe the Hermit also came out there. So maybe a lot of you are coming from that reading. But what is coming straight towards you? Money. Money, wealth, some kind of status in your career that you're also forming here. I see someone's business growing exponentially, or someone's reputation becoming very, very positive. I feel like something about your reputation is becoming, how do I say this? It's like you're going to be known as like the very reliable one. Yeah, I see like somebody is starting to gain a reputation of being very reliable. So if you're maybe like a business owner, this can be about your business becoming very reliable and trustworthy. If maybe you work at a company, you could be maybe getting promoted because you're very reliable and trustworthy. Or maybe it's that kind of energy where I feel like this money is coming because of something feels very reliable. You know, something feels aligned. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like you push this to extremes to happen, but it rather feels like it's happening because you earned it. You know, it's not like you're manipulating a situation to gain something, or you're trying to take shortcuts. And maybe that's also why it has been taking a while, you know, because I feel like you really allowed yourself to go through the process necessary. And yes, maybe at times you were aware that you can maybe force this, or you can make shortcuts and make it happen faster. But for some reason that also told you that wouldn't last me though. You know, like there is this message of, yes, I'm aware that there are certain tools that maybe I can use, or there are certain things that I can do to make this happen faster, to push this narrative, but would that be something that would you know, temporarily satisfy me, or would it bring me the stability long term? So with the Hermit here, I really feel like you made the call to take the longer route of something. You know, even if it's something takes a while, or if maybe you need to go through a period where it feels very lonely, or there's a lot of stillness, it's maybe the choice that brought you more peace, right? It's maybe the choice that inwardly told you, okay, I'm aware that this is maybe the more, I guess, it's not the more difficult route, but the route that's going to take more exploring. It's going to take more, you know, fidgeting with and figuring things out. But you knew that that's what's going to reward you long term, because you were interested in long-term fulfillment, right? Long-term abundance, creating wealth, prosperity, that there isn't this fear with it of like, it might go away tomorrow, you know, like I feel like you wanted to create wealth out of pure alignment, and because that is the only way you will have confidence that it will also last you a very long time, you know? So something about your money that's coming in as well, it feels like it's very rewarding and it's long lasting. Okay, so that's very important. Let's see what else. I feel like I'm going to take some tea leaves for you next. What is coming straight towards you? Okay, let's take these cards. Let's see. Okay, Tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. You know what? I feel like you did take the chance, right? It maybe this decision that you made a while back, it felt like you're taking a chance. It maybe felt risky, but it feels like that risk gets proven to be very rewarding at the end, especially financially for you. And in your career, for some reason, I feel like you're finding more alignment. It's like, you know, you're making the money, but you're also at peace with making it, because you know that you're not lying to anyone. You're not manipulating anyone. It feels like it's coming from a very good intentions, right? And I think that's also important to, you know, when we do seek alignment in our career, when we do seek alignment with finances, try to, you know, do it with good intentions and try to, right, be practical. And there is the business side of the Queen of Pentacles, but being practical doesn't mean manipulating things. You can have a good heart and have goodwill and good intentions and still achieve the wealth that you want through alignment, through inner connection and devotion. And that's something that maybe you realized, and maybe it was the more risky choice. But sometimes the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, no? And I feel like this Ten of Pentacles coming in, it's really reassuring you that you taking that longer route, right? We saw the Knight of Pentacles. You taking that longer route is what's leading you to rewards long term. So we also have the older man, dealing with a relationship with an older man. I feel like this has to do with you taking the wise choice on something. Like something that felt like a risk, but also the wiser choice. Yes, the wealth coming in. And hard work ahead. So your work is not finished here. That's something that I do want to point out. you still have a lot to move towards. You still have a lot of hard work ahead of you, but the wealth is coming in. The money is coming in. The results that are coming from a particular decision you made a while back that felt like a risk, but also the wiser choice. Maybe it felt like a risk to you because there was this energy of like, this can go 50-50, right? I can either truly find my alignment and find something that, feels very intentional and feels, it's like you almost took a time off, right? And it's like you can either find this alignment or you can do something that maybe was very obvious for you in that time, but also it in you and told you like, I don't feel like this is going to work long term. Like, I feel like this may satisfy me temporarily, but it doesn't feel like it's going to lead to anything long term. And I feel like you making that decision was very wise. It was very wise because now you're going to see the results of it come in. Okay, anything else? Any more guidance about this situation? Take a break. Okay, I feel like these two want to come together. So take a break. Life is not a season. Get off the treadmill. So you do have a lot of hard work ahead. And I feel like this card is reminding you to, at times, also take a break. To prevent burnout. To, do intentional breaks. Especially in your career, you might be somebody who's very ambitious and driven. I feel like breaks are also a practical thing. Taking intentional rest is a practical thing. It prevents burnout long term. So take into account, I feel like, to your intentional breaks. And we also have the sisterhood of the rose. Beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic and teacher. So in terms of your career, I do feel like you're stepping in a, again, very reputable position. Maybe you are starting to gain more influence over a specific industry, like maybe the beauty industry, maybe even the spiritual industry, maybe the teaching industry, the coaching industry. This is, I feel like, how this connects with you becoming more reliable and you becoming more reputable. Like, I feel like you're going to be the trustworthy one, the one who builds a brand out of trust and out of good intentions. And that's what's going to make your name feel very positive. Again, I feel like you're starting to gain a significant amount of influence over a specific industry, because I do see that this reading is more leaning towards the career. I mentioned something about a relationship in the beginning, but now that we have your cards out, this feels to me like it's a career reading and somebody finding true alignment and happiness in their career and big amounts of wealth because they're doing something practically, but also with really good intentions, I feel. So yeah, it does feel like you're gathering maybe a community or starting to gain influence over a community. Let's get your final card to see if there's anything else that needs to be communicated to you. Okay, fight for your fairy tale. Fight for your fairy tale is your message. It almost feels to me like maybe this decision that you made in the past was, again, the choice to fight for something that you believe in. It's like you have this fairy tale in your mind of how things are supposed to look. And I feel like you made the active decision to fight for that. It's like you were maybe aware that you can settle for something that was available in that time or maybe felt practical in that moment, but it wasn't the fairy tale you wanted, and I feel like that's a beautiful way to put it. To sometimes it is the braver choice, but it's maybe the one bringing also more rewards, to fight for the fairy tale that you have for yourself, the vision that you have for yourself. I feel like that decision is perhaps what's bringing you your fairy tale now to life, especially in your career, especially when it comes to money. So I feel like I'm going to leave you there with this message. I hope that this resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.